Hi guys, and welcome to a course introduction of 2DV013 Cloud Native Applications. Today is our first stand-up, and we will talk about the course, all the practical moments, and what is waiting for you today, because we also starting the course directly from this week. So first and foremost, Johan has left us here. It doesn't know. He will, unfortunately, good for him, because he's probably having fun coding right now, this very moment. But we will be
as opposed to us, though. Then, or
well, yeah, exactly. But we will be your instructors this time. Me, Oksana from the IoT lab, postdoc in Kalmar. You know me probably from the web platform if you've taken it this year. And Mats is, you also know a lot. And Diego, maybe you want to introduce yourself for those that haven't had you in the previous courses.
Yeah, I think that in this program I only teach in the third year, so I'm new for almost everybody. Yeah, my name is Diego Perez, and I work on Becco campus. I'm senior lecturer at the computer science department. Yeah, if you have taken some other courses out of your program, maybe you already know me, because I teach in several programs here. But for the online program, this is the first course in the third year. Yeah.
Yes, cool. For this course, we also have some sort of hybrid language. So we discussed a bit back and forth. So as you know, me and Mats usually do it in Swedish. Diego is refusing for now, so you have to push his boundaries, asking him questions in Swedish, but instructions and the stand-ups we will do in English. All the course materials are also mostly English, so because of that, I think it just makes sense. At least for me, it's pretty difficult to switch back and forth. But if you will need help, of course, just go ahead and ask in Swedish, and it's okay to ask in Swedish in the Slack channel. So like, don't feel like that is like limiting in you in some way.
Yeah, it's better for everybody if I don't try to speak in Swedish.
Yeah. Maybe this is the same for me. I'm actually thinking about recording more materials for this course, and the guys had to deal with my Swedish in the previous course. And I actually asked a few people, like, okay, do you prefer me recording it in English, like you know how my English is, right? Or do you actually still prefer my Swedish? And they're like, yeah, still Swedish, which is a surprise for me, because I think I don't like listening to myself in Swedish. What you were going to say, Mats?
Well, det är samma sak för mig. Jag tycker inte om att lyssna på mig själv när jag pratar engelska.
Aha, right.
Och inte svenska heller. Men nu har jag gjort det så många år, så nu står jag ut med det. Det här är ingenting att göra med språket, tror jag.
Okay, so it's also out of your comfort zone then to do this in English. Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, but here we are then. This is the syllabus course plan for this course. The past week we have been struggling a lot with this 2201 and 2202, and what is this and how do I get in? So hopefully if you're watching this, then you got registered for the course, that you either got approved your V8 web technology W1, whatever this is called, like with that's where you were implementing login in the web platform, and the API design, so API assignment. We were going back and forth, and I would think that before starting this course, you should really nail it down on the API design. You should know what REST is. You should be comfortable in writing APIs, because otherwise there will be no time You're going to catch up here. Here you're already expected to be able to implement it, especially further down in the course. So if you're still, if you got the response and you're still participating in the course, but the API is still hanging over you, please go back to the theoretical materials and really try to finish it this month, basically, and make sure you understand what it is. Otherwise, ask me questions. All right, and obviously the same with the logging in. Like your application should have functioning login. It's just no question. So, and in this course, then, what the hell is cloud native? I have added the module 0 where you can sort of go into it, into these concepts and what we're going to do in the course. So I thought like I moved it high up so you can already start diving into all of the aspects of it, right? If we just read the course plan, we have a lot of focus on continuous integration, continuous delivery, like this sort of side things for cloud native application, right? But there is also a lot of application design and choices of how to build a web app that is cloud native, which means probably scaling well in the cloud, right? If you say it shortly. And there is also this environmental aspects of cloud-based applications that I'm also going to talk about later. And in terms of ability and skill, you're basically going to go like DevOps 101 or maybe even 102 here. In parallel, you should be able to set up your own continuous delivery pipeline with integration tests, with deployment, in the cloud, probably using Docker and Kubernetes. And you should also work in a team and build a project. So yeah, no brainer, right? Yeah. So that's not so difficult. We have a website, CoursePress. I posted it on Slack. You probably already seen it. It's updated. Some of the materials are still going to be generated during the course, but we are pretty well set on the first few weeks. For all the DevOps and assignment submissions, we use GitLab as usual, so nothing weird there. If you manage to get your registration on Ladok, then you should also have gotten your repos generated for you. Thank you, Mats and Stefan, that worked hard on fixing it so early. So hopefully, if you are a good A student, you can already today start on your first exercises in the cloud. And the access keys are there in the secrets repo folder. Right? Anything else, Mats, you want to add on the GitLab?
No, everything should be generated for the registered students. And if you hasn't registered already, when you do it, it will take about within 15 minutes. There will be a couple of projects generated.
Yes. Communication will go through Slack. As I will try to post all of the links to stand-ups there as usual, and also links to Zoom, right? Because the the workshops will be either in Zoom or on site. We'll talk about it later. So stick to it. Please don't do any direct messages to any of us, again, because you have different languages. We have different expertise in different parts of the course. And we also will have teaching assistants helping us. I'll come to that later. So please put all your questions in the common channel, and please also try to help each other and answer them if you can help. So don't wait for us to answer. This is extremely important because it creates like just basically chaos, and I still have to answer all these questions again and again. So don't be shy. There's no stupid questions. This is probably going to be difficult for you. A lot of new technologies, a lot of probably problems with CS Cloud and like tiny little details. Just ask questions in the. I can't emphasize enough. Basically, you're struggling. Just put it on Slack. Course schedule is on time edit. I I don't know. I think I went with Paulina like 30 times back and forth, but I think it is good now. There are no links to actual like YouTube stand-ups and Zoom links or whatever, but let's give up on that and post them on Slack. You also will notice workshops there, but we'll come there later. So make sure you import all the things from TimeEdit, because when we start working later on the group project, there are some extra workshops in the schedule. So recommended reading, right? We have this book, and this is what Johan picked in the previous editions of the course. It's actually a pretty new course. It's a relatively new book. I think like 21 or something like that, at least like the latest edition. So which is, I think, pretty good. And I read through it, and for this part, at least, there is no outdated things, and I think it's a good investment if you do buy any book, buy this one. But we want it is pretty big still. I don't think we will cover everything from it, but especially the first chapter and the last chapter. The first chapter being the introduction of all of the concepts, and the last one is where you have an example of like a reference architecture and reference design for a cloud native application is really useful. Important dates and times. Here we are. It's a Wednesday, 9:15. So this will be a recurring meeting all the time. Please don't miss those. Either come live and ask your questions or watch it in recording. If anything changes, we will tell you in these meetings, right? And also your chance to ask some practical questions if you not like technical ones, but more like organizational wise, right? So, but you know the drill. That's the usual setup of many of your courses, so it should not be a problem, right? Then what is called handledning in the schedule, let's call it workshops, is also on Wednesdays in the afternoon. Today is the first workshop, right, Diego? So don't miss it. Yeah, in the beginning you will have a lot to do with Diego and the first module on infrastructure. So it's extra important to be at this. So don't think that workshops is just if I have questions. If I don't have questions, I'm not showing up. No. So basically, if there is something in the schedule, please be there as a rule. And there's no recordings of workshops. So if you want to miss something, then rather miss the stand-up meeting, watch it in recording. But this 1 o'clock, 1:15. Just make it a habit to be there. And if you are on campus, there is currently no booked room. I'm thinking actually if we probably should book a room for you, so you also have just make it a habit to hang out together, because we will have also some on-campus workshops later on. So yeah, so that's why I wrote like extra workshops for the group project. I think in TimeEdit you can scroll a bit down, you will see them, and there will be separate activities on site and online. So please, if you are on campus, attend the campus event. It's important. And if you're online, make sure you attend those workshops. Those will be about working in a team on a cloud native project and on the sustainability of cloud applications. That has to do actually with where I am today. So this is like a nice view here. I'm not in Kalmar now. I'm in Lausanne in Switzerland. And we have a collaboration with EPFL here. Something I can't pronounce, École something in French. So they're engineering school. And there's a project which actually they focus on teaching sustainability and ethics to engineering students and like integrating it in the curriculum. And you can see that in the syllabus we have like environmental aspects of which are like, no one tells us actually how the hell are we supposed to teach this, right? And how to make it that it's actually sticks, right? So I'm gonna try. You're gonna be my Försökskaniner. I don't know how to say it in English, but basically
guinea pigs.
Yeah, guinea pigs. There we go. we're gonna try some pedagogical methods on you, and hopefully it will be really fun. So basically, group workshops that need to be interactive. So that's why I'm like, be there.
Okay,
So
there's a question.
yes, let's see.
You
if I
already
can...
answered that. There's a thing, but
yes. So I would say it's required attendance. Then it's not strictly a part of your examination, but and I can't, I think, by rule say sort of yes, it's required, but it's strongly suggested, especially then in the beginning. Then once you are kind of got the hang of it for some things, then you maybe sometimes you can skip if you don't, if your group doesn't need support. But in general, there's a lot of group work, there's a lot of interaction, there's a lot of problems, and this course should be sort of preparation for actual work experience. So it will be sort of putting you in that situation, like how you work with the team. So is your work requires your attendance? Yes. Either online, like even if you work online, you need to be there. And this is similar, and obviously it is up to you to plan your own studies. You have maybe other commitments and so on, and then it's your responsibility of how you. I can't basically, if you don't attend, there is or if you miss a lot of workshops, there is a high chance that you're not passing this course. That's basically
definitely. It's always true, but certainly in this case.
Mats can say from the previous experience how it usually looks like, right? Then if we go to actual examination, right? So the attendance of workshops isn't like part of your grade, but these things are. So the first one is infrastructure. That will be a practical assignment, 3 points. Then is something that's
Roxana, can I add something about the required? Yeah, it's highly recommended, but in the terms of is it a requirement? So are we going to have a checklist of people who are attending and punish the ones who are not? No. So if you have to go to the hospital or you are very sick, we don't need any document that certifies this. So don't show up. And that's
no, exactly. So there is no sometimes in the courses
no official punishment.
no official punishment. Just we're gonna look down. No, so basically, sometimes in the courses attendance becomes part of the grade, and then you have to take attendance, and like if you pass less, blah blah. I don't want to do that. It's just a lot of unnecessary administration, but. In general, sort of, I want to encourage you to attend, because I also seen it a lot in web platform, which is a bit of a similar setup. Then suddenly, like, people don't attend the workshops where I go through things interactively, because I can't. Not everything can be recorded, right? Sometimes it is more of a interactive, practical things that I show you, right? And the same with you, I think. And then they miss it. They missed what we covered, and then I see the assignment, and I'm just going like, oh my god! And then this is the same questions in Slack, and then here we are. So it is
I just wanted to avoid that somebody looks for official certificates of that day.
I think that's too much. So infrastructure practical assignment, software patterns and architecture practical assignment. This is called assignment 2 on the website. And then there's a group project, a big part of it, which there's also a hand-in, which will be a hand-in of an actual application and delivery pipeline, all of that, and the live deployed project. And there's also an oral exam if you didn't get enough of us, which will be in January. So these are the assignment deadlines. I think I updated them, but always trust Time Edit or like the latest information on that, basically. But I think we'll try to stick with this. One important thing is that it's, as always, like this relatively new addition, I think, is that the deadlines are at 5 o'clock. So know if you want to submit in midnight the same day. That means you missed the deadline, but there will be a next one. Sorry, you're muted, Mats. I don't hear you.
Nah, now you hear me.
Nah, yeah.
Assignment A2, wrong year.
Oh shit. Yeah, but it's 24. Yeah, that's why I try also removed all the deadlines from the website, but the time edit is what you need to trust, and that will be integrated with GitLab also. Obviously integrates with that, because I have detail attention issues. Yes, and yeah, oral exam later in January. So this is from the website then. Hopefully you are following along with us, so you can already open it. This is the what is cloud native. As I said, try to look through that as soon as possible. I think really nice video that you guys made, I think last year maybe, which goes through this book. So if you're too lazy to read and you also want the information in Swedish, strongly suggest watching it. It was nice for me to watch it also to cover all the vocabulary for the Swedish vocabulary for this course, and such. So this will be basically very basic theoretical information of all the concepts that you will need throughout the course. So start with this as soon as possible, so you also understand what we are doing in the first module with infrastructure, why we are preparing for this, right? So let's see here. Diego, do you want to introduce what you're going to do in the first module? I have one placement slide for you.
Yeah, I have also some slides then for what we are going to do this afternoon. So
okay. Do you want to share them now, or do you mean like you want
I
to share
can
them
do it
later?
in the end to prepare them for this afternoon, because I will ask for installing, comes with something installed. But yeah, basically in this part, in the first module, we will work on infrastructure as code. So to prepare our provision and configuration of servers and application automatically. So writing in code what should happen on the servers to have our application up and running. So no writing commands on the terminal manually, or not using the graphical user interface to configure parameters. For this, we will use several tools. Two of them that may be new to you are one is Ansible to configure applications, and the other in this slide is Terraform, that we used exclusively Terraform until last year, but now this year we can use also OpenTofu, that is an open source alternative. We will talk later this afternoon or next week when we go into that provisioning between Terraform and OpenTofu. And the choice is yours. They work in the same way for what we want to do. Yeah, that's all as introduction for module 1. Thank you.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, the goal then is to prepare for what you're going to do later. And for some people, then if you look at the first week workshop, they're like, I already did this. I know how to set up a web server, right? But in this course, you go like one step higher, and you do it automatically then, and in a way that will let you build it in your continuous delivery pipeline. At the same time, you also, if you haven't done it before on your own, right, this is also your chance and your must now to make yourself familiar with what CI/CD actually is. So that's also kind of starts in the first few weeks. Then we move on to module 2, which is microservices and container management. So if we take the super simple, I don't know, I was trying to find like a state of the art, whatever definition, and there's obviously there are a lot of opinions about what cloud native is, and how these applications should be, and so on. But I think the one from the Cloud Native Computing Foundation is pretty good, and that's what we sort of gonna stick to more or less, but at a still pretty basic level, right? And here you see this like loosely coupled system. So instead of one app, you kind of start splitting it into in different so-called microservices, so different parts, let's say, for now, simple, that will be independently deployed, that need to communicate between each other. And for that, you usually have containers. And you probably touched already on containers. Maybe you made your own even images for Docker. I've seen some people using container-based deployment already in web platform, and I did encourage you to do it, because here you will already have to kind of deliver on that fast. But there's quite a lot of exercises. So even if you haven't done it until now, you can just go through it completely from scratch. So go through Docker, Kubernetes, setting up everything, and then moving on to assignment 2 that will need to use all of that. Then we also start with, this should say module 3. Yeah, anyway, design patterns and architecture. And here again, so we're going to try to follow the book, but there's a lot of different patterns and a lot of different levels of complexity. So I think what we're going to focus on a few things though that are important. So APIs again, different types of APIs, not only REST. So we're going to cover that. So how you can make your microservices communicate. Asynchronous communication and event-driven architecture. That I think the first time you come in touch with this is in this course, unless you have done it independently. And here in assignment 2, you would have to demonstrate that. Right, Mats? Do you wanna fill in on that? I haven't. No, you don't want to. Cool. But yeah, in this is also kind of a pyramid or whatever, layers of cloud native applications from CNCF. And basically in this module 3, then it should be called, we will be on this level. How do you actually, once you have your infrastructure provisioning, you pick the runtime and you orchestrate your containers somehow, you also need to design your application, right? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to try a lot of different things, and the first thing is then in assignment 2, you get, if you look through it, you get the basic sort of skeleton of a cloud native application. You need to do a few changes and implement some event-driven patterns, basically. And then finally, we move on to group projects somewhere like in November, if I recall correctly. That's when you will be assigned groups to work in, right? Here, Mats, I think I need your help. How are we going to do groups?
Well, to be frank, I really don't know, but that was Johan's tasks the previous years. But in some way we will divide you in different kind of groups working with a project.
We'll figure it out. One suggestion I have, again, is that you already know each other pretty well. And if you think that you will work well with someone in a group, then it's a group, I think, at least 2 people, potentially 3. But if you work in groups of 3, I expect the application to be larger. So like you will need to defend your contribution to the project. So if you already know at the point when the group project starts, I want to work with these people, we are like building our team here, totally fine with me. And then if you want, if you didn't find anyone, we will of course pair you with someone. So no issue. But again, I think I want it really to be like real life training. So work as you would work in an actual agile team delivering an application. And here you, but one difference then is that you will also have to have one of the people that act as a product owner, maybe you all together decide in some way. So we won't be your product owner. That's also one thing that I slightly changed, maybe from how Yuan did it after discussing with Diego. If you see in the website, there are different ideas of what you can implement, so you don't have to implement the specific application that is. Let's put there called Liter, which is like Twitter. So, but we'll get to that later on. One thing that you can start thinking already now is getting into habit to work with your team on other assignments. So try to test if you did pick someone to work with you. The tip is to try to do the exercises. And there's like a conference walking by, so I apologize for the noise. Yeah, then let's see here. We also have oral exam. Also not going to talk too much about that. We can cover that later on. But it will basically be about all of the concepts that you have covered that you came into contact with in the course. And of course, it will also be like presentation of what you have implemented in your project, and all the architectural and design patterns that you picked, how you implemented your CI/CD, and then finally environmental aspects of cloud computing, which you hopefully will get through the extra workshops. So that was a really fast walkthrough of all of this. You have these slides on the website as well. So I'll try to fix some wrong things as well. Right. That was what I wanted to say today. Mats and Diego, you want to say something?
I don't have anything to add about the introduction. Well, good job.
Right.
When you think that if you think that I should share now some slides about what we are going to do this afternoon and the expectations on this afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's really good if you also go through your part and how you build your workshops, because it might be slightly different of how I do things. So I'll remove this now. So feel free to present.
Well, I try to present the share screen.
And you guys, if you have questions, there is one question in Slack that I see. Anyone that managed to add security group to project in step 3, get the error. So someone is already starting on your exercises.
Now I share the screen, and now I put in presentation mode, so I will not see anything else. Speak if you to interrupt me.
All right.
Yeah. So in this first week, we are just going to interact with cloud computing. For some of you, maybe the first time. Some of you, maybe you have already interacted with Amazon, the AWS, Azure. This can be quite easy, straightforward, or just refreshing memory. But if you have never interacted, this is your week. So we'll get familiarized with interacting with one of the possible cloud providers, and we will use our cloud provider that is called CS Cloud. So you can access in cscloud.lnu.se, and it's a cloud provider that runs OpenStack. It's a private cloud, so you need to be part of the university to access it. And in our journey to get familiarized with the cloud provider, we are going to create a network with a machine there, and we will install a web server that will just deliver a simple static web page. So we will configure a little bit the server as well, and we will change the ports. Maybe you know this at server level, how to configure web servers, but now we will put the layer of the of the cloud that also we need to create a network, and we will need to allow some ports to traverse from the internet to our machines. So in this general goal, we can split it into some sub goals. So the first that you need is to obtain your CS Cloud account. I think that thanks to Mats, if you have your GitLab, it appears with your credentials in the secret, so user and password to access the CS Cloud. Then you need to install the OpenStack command line interface, the client, and this is the command if all the requirements are satisfied, which is not trivial. Just with that command, it works. So this is the happy path. Maybe you will not satisfy some requirements, so you will have to install other packages. So the full instructions are here. So you will see that the part of the requirements in those instructions is quite long. And then when the requirements are satisfied, the pip install works. Yeah, this is quite important for today. So you should arrive with this already installed. Maybe you will need to fight a little bit this morning to install it. And why this is a big requirement? Because it's dependent of your machine. So I cannot help you much with this. If you arrive without the client installed, we are just wasting time, like waiting, because I cannot give support for all type of operating systems. After that step, the rest are quite standard. So if you have not gone beyond installing the client, we do all the rest together, because the rest of the steps are the same for everybody and all the operating systems. So you will download something that is called the RC file from the CS Cloud.lnu from the CS Cloud from your account. This RC file is personal to you, so you have to access your account and download it, and then write the command source with the name of the RC file. More sub goals. When at that point you can write OpenStack commands. So OpenStack create networks, create instances on the cloud. So we'll follow a guide that is here. So you have also and it's linked on the website, to create a network, security groups, IPs, so public IPs to access from the outside, the cloud. So from the public internet to create servers. I have updated this morning, actually slide 8 and 9 on creating the keys, and I have put a big red cross there. Before, just say ignore slide 9. Now it says, yeah, don't use that at all, because you should use the key that you have been provided in the secrets. So you have a .pem file, and this is the file that you should use as key. And the commands on slide 9 were supposed to create a new key that was called OS demo, the file. So you already have one, the .pem, and you should use that, because for administration purposes on the cloud, is better if you are always using that and not new ones. Yeah, and then we will follow that guide. So we will execute the commands that are on the rest of the slides to see how we are creating our first infrastructure, command after command on the terminal, and then we will be able to access SSH, our new instance created, and we will connect, and we will install a web server. We can also install it in remote with some SSH commands, so we can see maybe a bit fancier way, but still less fancy, as we will do the rest of weeks when we are familiarized with the cloud and we use this Terraform or OpenTofu.
Sorry, Diego, we'll just quickly interrupt you. We have a question, and I think if I understood correctly, so it says you should not use anything on slide 9. We should just use the key that is in our GitLab, right?
Yes.
So
yes. What the slide 9 says about OS demo, that creates a file called OS demo with a private key, you don't need to do that, because you have already received one of these keys, and it's in a file that with extension .pem, and it should be in your secrets. Right, Matt? As well?
Yeah, it is in that secrets thing.
Okay.
And if it's not, then please try to figure it out before 1 o'clock and write on Slack that everyone has that.
That I'm going to do all this at 1, and I hope that all of us do together. So because then we can see the problems, the little stones on the path, and we solve them together. Well, the important part is that you come with the client installed. This is the most important. The rest we do together. That's the goal of the workshop today at 1. So we will do all the rest of sub goals. Just the OpenStack client, you have to install it yourself because it's quite dependent on the system on your computer. And I cannot give support to all the systems. In my computer it worked quite smoothly, so maybe I was lucky, but then every year there are students with different problems to install this, and I can only say it worked smoothly to me in my case. So so if after today you have still many you cannot follow the workshop, and you try tomorrow and on Friday, and you are having many problems to understand the guide, so you don't know what is going on, I will be available to solve doubts on Monday between 1 and 3. So I hope to make this also recurrent. So to book this slot on Mondays between 1 to 3 every week. So we have this stand up on Wednesday morning. We have a workshop where we try to do all together on Wednesday afternoon. And if you cannot, if you don't manage to follow the workshop, you have a couple of days to try yourself, and then you come with the doubts, or if you still cannot achieve the goal of the week, you come with the doubts on Monday, and I will strongly try to reserve to be available every Monday between 1 and 3 to solve the doubts. So in that way, you are not lost for the next Wednesday workshop when we build upon the previous week.
Yeah, exactly. So there's some questions. So the first one part, yes, there are workshops every week, but we go further. So that's why I go like, you please attend, because if you start lagging behind from the beginning, it will be difficult to catch up. Future sessions will, like if we have handledning, like Q&A, it will focus on first and foremost on the current week. Then if there is time, we'll of course answer those questions as well, but try to do everything with the pace of the course just to make it easier for you. Work together as much as possible, and yeah, it would be awesome, Diego, for this infrastructure part you have like just a placeholder at least for Q&A when you can.
Now I see the questions as well in the so I stopped sharing the screen, so I stopped the presentation mode, and from Luis.
Should we take this one as well? This is easy. Yes, it is on your cloud. It's on your computer.
Yeah, the command line, the client is on your computer because it's what launches commands to the cloud. Specific instructions on how to connect to the VPN. I think that this is not at this course level, but the university gives these instructions to all students. So I would Google a bit LNU VPN, and you will get the instructions. Yeah, and until 2-3 years ago, we could access the CS Cloud without the VPN, but since it is a cloud that we use for teaching, so to give also the first steps on how to use the cloud, sometimes the servers are a bit vulnerable. So these created problems years ago because they are used to learn. So then it was put a firewall and access control, and now only people who are on campus or connected to the VPN can access. So this is something that is a new rule since 2-3 years ago, but it's like for security reasons, because your first server will not be the most secure. So and if this is open to the world, it will be hacked like super quickly. Then any later in the year, I don't get that.
No, I mean, I don't understand what you mean, like any later in the year.
For ensuring security, well,
This one.
the best practice to follow for ensuring security will allowing necessary access, well, having latest versions of having the software up with apt get upgrade later. So when the patch software, and we will try to open as few ports as possible. So in the beginning, we will only open 22, which means that even if you are inside the VPN, the machines are completely closed, and the firewall, the router only allows access to the SSH server on your machine. Then slowly, we will open more ports that we need for offering our service in our web application. So this is, at least in the infrastructure part, these are the main security measures that we will take. Having latest version of software and open as few ports as possible. Completely safe. Nothing is 100% completely safe.
Safe enough for the sake of the course, yeah.
Tomorrow they will hack some super big company, and maybe today they are saying that they are completely safe. If they are too optimistic, otherwise, if they don't dare that they are completely safe, we will not dare either to say that we are completely safe.
Yeah, so normally I think security, or what is called also now DevSecOps. So like instead of DevOps, there's also continuous security pipelines and so on, which ideally we should cover in this course, but at the moment it's not in the curriculum. So I would like to see like a web security course maybe in this program at some point in the future. Let's see that Mats is back. So it's not. We don't have time for this. Basically, we have some basics, but yes, completely safe. I wouldn't call it potentially. I guess the VPN and everything is just the attempt to like as a first line defense to protect the university servers from obvious things. So yeah. Yes. For me, it's getting really loud here. Everyone moving for the coffee. So I don't know if did we miss anything? Hopefully not. I think it's been a pretty good start. I would also maybe Matsi, since you've been previous iterations of the course and you know sort of a little bit how this is going. Usually if you can say, I mean, basically scare them into studying more. I don't know. If you want to say a few words.
No, I got nothing to say about that, other than business as usual. You should be afraid in the start of the course, certainly this one, because, well, this is quite a hard course, I think. Well, keep up the work, make it good, so you can keep up the good work.
And I would say also like try to enjoy it and to sort of you will learn a lot one way or another, like if you go through this, and this is very relevant skills for working as a web developer. In like you will have to do this anyway at any company, from like a small startup to some extent to even in a larger extent if you work for bigger organizations. Go and also try to take the most of it, and especially of the teamwork and building something that you can be proud of in a group project that you make live, that comes into your portfolio, and that potentially could also be sort of precursor to your thesis project. I do encourage you to use to build something you're also passionate about, if you can. So there is an example project. There are some suggestions, but if you already started something before, some theme or topic, try to think about already. No, I want to build this, but scalable then in a cloud native fashion, right? Together with my team, and because that's like if you feel like you want to build this, it's gonna be better, and everything is gonna just give you more motivation to do it. This is a good question. Also, are there no lectures in this course? Yeah, so there are some pre-recorded videos and recommended things, but yeah, there won't be no lectures in the traditional setting of a lecture where we gather online and you listen to me for an hour. Like that's probably not going to happen. This is more of a project-based learning, a lot of exercises. I do think I will try to record more. Theoretical walkthrough similar to what you guys recorded for module 0. So that's the video that you should probably watch. But this will be just recorded and made available on the website, so you can watch whenever you want. All the workshops are interactive. And I think usually also Diego's workshops are like this. First you listen for a little bit, and then we do practical part. So there's some theoretical materials at the workshop, and the same will be for me as well. So that's why, but they won't be recorded. So that's the thing. So that's why. No, I wouldn't say it is possible. I mean, I already know quite a lot of the course, and you're really good at working independently and looking up information on your own. Recorded videos. Yeah, so there is right now. I think there are a few videos pre-recorded from last year. So look in the module 0, and then in the module 2 there are videos from Mats and Johan. So that's what I mean. Videos from IBM, also reference videos in English that are good to watch if that is the mode of information that you prefer. Like those are very, very short, just conceptual videos. Yes. Another question: we're working on the projects themselves during the workshops. I think it's a bit of a mix-up because, yeah, in the first part of the course, you have a lot of individual work. So yes, probably a lot of working along the exercises together with specifically Diego. And then later on in the container microservices part, probably will be me, Mats, or one of the TAs that are there, and they will try to do it live. And it's good if you try it as well. Then I mean, again, it is possible to if you can't make the workshop time, to try to sit and follow the instructions yourself. But it is up to you. Usually, normally that doesn't work very well if you have missed it. But everyone has different sort of abilities and learns in different ways. So yeah, cool. Should we round up then? Good luck with this maybe hardest 15 points that you have gotten in your education up until now. So and yeah, we'll do our best to get you through this. So it is going to be hard, it is going to be frustrating, but we are gonna try to help you as much as Diego is laughing. He's also going to be frustrated.
No, so frustrating, I hope.
Maybe not your part, but later.
I hope that they live with a good memory of the course.
Yeah, exactly.
and I miss these times in the future.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So good luck, and thank you for coming to the intro today. Did I miss it? No, I actually think as I see that 17 people are watching live now, and Mats said that at the moment, at least you're about 30 that are registered for the course, which is actually quite a lot compared to how it usually is, right, Mats? So bigger group this year. So that's why we are also a little bit stressed, but it will be fine. It will be great. Yeah. So come to Diego's workshop today in the afternoon and start the first exercises. And yeah, let's go. Fun autumn for us. Yeah. Bye bye.
Like,